Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, is in Wilmington, Delaware, where Vincentians are providing care and comfort to women behind bars. Then, we're in Louisville, as Vincentians serve up a feast at their open-hand kitchen. And in Minneapolis, we go along with Vincentians on an emotional home visit. These stories are just some examples of the good works of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul across the United States.
Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
Welcome to Wilmington, Delaware, the largest and most populous city in the state. The iconic Delaware Memorial Bridge, a twin suspension bridge crossing the Delaware River, connects Delaware with New Jersey. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul has been at work in this community since 1868, when a conference was established at St. Peter's Church, a conference that exists to this day. Welcome to Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul. I'm Michelle Wargo. Vincentians in Wilmington have been involved in prison ministry and re-entry work since the mid-1990s. Trace Trilko shows us the success of one unique conference that helps incarcerated women.
I didn't have anything. Yeah, it's your dignity. I was no longer addicted. I had really addressed that lifestyle, that just total neglect of self.
Deborah Riley shares her story, a past that included struggles with addiction and a couple of years behind bars, a time in her life when the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in Wilmington, Delaware offered hope.
St. Vincent de Paul actually had a sign-up sheet where you could make special requests. I had nothing, so I made the request. Probably the best day comes in a little brown paper bag, a little bit of deodorant, some toothpaste, shampoo, the things that you need to just socially participate with other people.
They're just ordinary women like me, except that their lives took a different path than mine for whatever reason. And something that they did was against the law, and they ended up in prison because of it.
Vincentian Lois Jackson's passion includes outreach through the Wilmington Society's prison ministry program. That's how she met Deborah and others in need of a helping hand.
Some have gotten help somewhere. A lot of them turn to the Bible for solace. Some of them are still in a lot of trouble because of mental illness and very bad past experiences.
In the Society, a traditional conference is parish-based, but not here. This is no church. We're at the Baylor Women's Correctional Institute. The Society here in Wilmington does prison ministry outreach for women, and the incarcerated females inside have formed their own conference.
It normally follows the same format as a normal conference meeting, opening prayers, and we have a reading, and sometimes the spiritual reading that we have gets into a discussion.
Vincentian Gina Brainerd Connor attends conference meetings inside Baylor alongside her fellow Vincentians, always striving to avoid being judgmental.
And somebody asked me, well, what are they in for? I don't know, and I don't care. I don't particularly want to know. It doesn't matter to me, but they're there for whatever reason. And sometimes I just think they made a left turn when they should have turned right, and could have been me.
They're providing help to other ladies within Baylor on a daily basis, weekly basis, meeting their needs, helping them with their needs. Again, we don't have access to them. So they're able to work with other ladies, giving things, again, that we might not think are important, but toiletries.
Deacon Dennis Wibbles is a Vincentian and a volunteer with the prison ministry program at Baylor. Deacon says the people behind these walls have the same needs as those on the outside, but too often become forgotten.
It's one thing to talk about the poor, but it's another thing to meet the poor, the ladies in prison, the ladies that are coming out. They have needs that they don't even consider needs, that are so far beyond what we're able to comprehend. And again, they're right next door. They're in our neighborhoods. They're right there for us to see, and yet we don't see them. Not because we're closing our eyes. It's just that we're unable to see. Our ears are unable to hear.
I attended the church services weekly in there, and then they had counselors that came to us with paperwork asking if we would be interested. So I did sign up, and then that's when they set an appointment up to meet with me. I met with them inside the prison right before I was released. They told me what they had to offer if I was interested. I was very interested. I was probably released 2 or 3 weeks when they came and did a home visit with me, and I was ecstatic.
Crystal Carell is grateful for the help St. Vincent de Paul provided her while she was incarcerated, and for the caring Vincentians who walked with her as she returned to society.
They helped me with bus passes, a ShopRite card, supermarket card, to pay for the first month of my rent. And that really gave me the help that I needed to get through that first month, which is the worst month to get through. And I had the bus passes to go job seeking, and I was able to get a job, and I am doing great now, and I've achieved so much in the past year.
Crystal's success is why the conference inside Baylor was formed in the first place. Now, a dozen or so members come together in prayer the first Tuesday of every month. Vincentian Barbara Fallhaber looks beyond the reasons the women ended up here and instead focuses on the people they are inside.
I prayed to the Holy Spirit about this, about the choice of the readings, and I would have each woman read a section, and they would take turns reading the sections, and then we would have a discussion. And sometimes some of their stories would come out in this group, which was amazing because it showed that there was a trust level in this group, that they would share these things. And it was a pretty emotional thing sometimes. So I think that did some good. I certainly grew spiritually.
Vincentians grow closer to God through their person-to-person interactions.
A lot of people think that the main purpose of the society is to do charitable work. It's not. You know what the main purpose is? Spiritual growth of the individual through acts of charity. And a lot of people forget that. It's so important for us to take care of ourselves too before we can help somebody else.
If you felt a transformation spiritually?
I think so. I think that one meeting when we talked about forgiveness, that was an important meeting for me. That was very eye-opening, and it was humbling to hear them talk like that.
And Vincentians try to be attentive listeners too.
I think that we were able to be Vincentians, helping them when they came out, and you're right, talking to them, listening.
To be a kind ear, which is probably the thing they need the most. That's actually the thing all of us need the most, someone to listen to us when we're going through problems and troubles. Listening to the ladies, I'm a spiritual advisor. I'm supposed to be the one providing the spiritual direction for the ladies. But the meetings that I've attended, the ladies that were at Baylor, they were praying the prayers. And again, I was sitting there with tears in my eyes. They were so beautiful. They weren't reading the words, they were expressing them from their hearts. And it was just so beautiful to see.
The conference inside Baylor is named after Saints Perpetua and Felicity, 2 women arrested for their faith during the 3rd century, later becoming Christian martyrs. Today, it is faith and compassion offered by Vincentians, helping women inside this prison improve their lives and become productive returning citizens when they leave.
Hi, Crystal. It was good to see you again. I'm glad you're doing so well.
Thank you. Have a great
For
day.
Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Trace Trolko.
Thanks, Trace. The Joseph R. Bo Biden Foundation has recognized the work of the Society's prison ministry as an outstanding criminal justice program in the state of Delaware. Up next, what's on the menu as Vincentians serve up home-cooked meals in Louisville? Plus, we'll explain how the Society is answering the call in Seattle. These stories and more when Our Faith in Action, Today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul returns.
Donating a vehicle might help a neighbor get to work. When Joe's car broke down and he needed a new starter costing hundreds of dollars he didn't have, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul was there to help. Thanks to the Society's National Vehicle Donation Program, Joe now gets to work every morning. The Society accepts cars, trucks, boats, planes, anything with the motor working or non-working, all to help people in need. Donate your vehicle today at svdpusa.org.
Thanks to generous donors, you'll find a well-stocked food pantry at the conference at Corpus Christi Catholic Church in Ellesmere, Delaware. This is one of 34 conferences serving people in need across the Wilmington Council. All told, Vincentians provide more than $850,000 in food every year. The Society in this area and across the country is involved in a variety of special works and person-to-person outreach. Vincentians and volunteers in Louisville are serving up meals and hospitality to their neighbors in need. Ara Griffith volunteers at the Open Hand Kitchen, run by St. Vincent de Paul Louisville. She especially likes to cook.
Well, we're serving baked chicken, barbecue chicken. We have rolls. We have potatoes and cabbage and different desserts.
And her famous salad.
And my favorite salad. Thank you.
Michael James enjoys eating meals he knows are made with love. He's grateful to the Society for all the help it has provided him to get back on his feet.
They helped me from getting off the street. You know, I was homeless, and I came here and they helped me get off the street. I just got in an apartment the other week and just moved in, getting ready to move my stuff in.
Ara keeps coming back because of how it makes her feel to help people in her community.
I came here, wanted to help out because my friend did it. I thought it was a wonderful thing. My thing is this, because I'm not homeless, I could be homeless going through what they're going through, so I love to give. I've always been like that. I'm thankful because I can do this. That's why I do it.
The Open Hand Kitchen offers 2 nutritious meals a day, every day, 365 days a year.
Good morning, Doug. How are you today?
Doing great, especially with this. This helps.
And in Madison, Wisconsin, Vincentian Lynn Tosef helps Doug Strebe with a pickup. The Society's food pantry provides boxes of healthy choices through its diabetes wellness program, which comes in especially handy for Doug, who has diabetes.
There's usually applesauce, pears, canned goods, really very good, high quality product.
St. Vincent de Paul and its partners offer educational workshops from dietitians and certified diabetes educators, nutrition information, healthy recipes, and monthly boxes and bags of diabetes healthy food.
It's a good feeling to know they're out there, to know that they're willing and able to help and wanting to help. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It's that they're here to help if you need it.
The Society in Madison helps nearly 50 people every month through its diabetes wellness program. As we know, many hands make for lighter work, and that is certainly the case in Seattle, where Vincentians staff a helpline for people in need of assistance.
All right, have you called us before?
Vincentian Sandra McGowan is one of many Vincentian volunteers who answers the phones from people hurting financially, emotionally, and spiritually. She listens, provides referrals to resources, and connects her neighbors to a nearby conference of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul for further care.
For me, it's always important to be, kind and patient And because a lot of times people are under a lot of stress. But I think to mainly be, a friend, I'm listening, what can I do to help?
Sandra says this work also helps her grow in her spirituality.
It helps me to continue to, count the blessings that I have, continue to want to share, to keep things in their perspective, to, try to understand where people are and meet them where they are.
The Society's helpline logs more than 40,000 calls every year. Just ahead, we're going on a home visit with a man who escaped a life surrounded by poverty and crime. We'll tell you how the Society helped Wayne Bugg turn his life around. His story coming up on Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
I've always wanted to do something. I think every time you see there's a need, you say, gosh, I want to do something. And because St. Vincent de Paul was in the parish, it was easy to connect with those who were involved and do something. And how has it changed my life? This year, I will be the Archdiocesan President. That's how it's changed my life. I've started as a member, as a district council president, and then now as the Archdiocesan President. That's changed my life because the more you take on, the more you're involved with making a difference, helping members and helping our consumers, our clients, the people who need us the most.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, the first conference of the Society in Wilmington, Delaware formed at St. Peter's in 1868. Now the Cathedral of St. Peter's, its school is run by the Daughters of Charity. Founded by St. Vincent de Paul and St. Louis de Marillac, the order dedicates themselves to the service of the poor in their homes, as well as the sick, the elderly, and children in schools. The home visit allows Vincentians to provide person-to-person outreach to people in need. Kelly Larson is one such person. The Minneapolis woman who is battling stage 4 breast cancer refuses to allow her health challenges to shake her faith. She's sharing her story with Paul Boron.
Hello, how are you? A familiar knock on the door begins a home visit in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, just outside of Minneapolis.
My income has decreased 75% from when I was working. I'm now on Social Security disability and long-term disability. And you're right, it looks like a person like me wouldn't need a dime of support, but I do.
Kelly Larson, a single mom, is battling cancer.
I have stage 4 metastatic breast cancer that spread to my bones. It's been really hard with the medical bills that I've incurred and also staying in my house as a single mom.
Kelly reached out to the Society of St. Vincent de Paul Twin Cities, a call that would lead to a home visit.
We sat and visited for a while, prayed a little bit, and then they wrote me a check, which has helped tremendously. This money has allowed me to be able to stay here a little bit longer, which has been precious for my 2 boys. This is the only house they've ever known, and I've been here for 20 years. So I am so grateful for everything that St. Vincent's has done.
It wasn't easy for Kelly to ask for help, but the disease completely changed the course of her life and her financial situation.
Not easy at all. I'm proud. I've worked hard for everything that I've had. I had 2 jobs clear up until I was 31 years old and got married.
What touches me is that, she's a woman with breast cancer trying to work through the issues that she has. She's in a tough spot right now. And when we said we wanted to end with prayer, she said, I want to lead the prayer. And I thought that was really neat.
Carol Nielsen of Vincentian with the Conference at Incarnation Catholic Church says these person-to-person conversations help her on her own personal spiritual journey.
Spiritually, it's making me pray more, realize that I am very blessed with what I have, and I don't complain about that, and it just helps you grow spiritually, and I think get closer to God. You go and you just get to visit these people, and you hope that things will turn around for them. You keep them in your prayers, and you just get so much back because you hope that you did what you could to help them in some way.
For Vincentian Wayne Bugg, the home visit is biblically grounded.
I think about the story of Jesus walking down the road and seeing Zacchaeus in a tree and say, Zacchaeus, I'm coming to your house today. And so Zacchaeus was so thrilled about that. When he got there and he was able to let his guard down, he was allowed to allow the people from his neighborhood to come and to hear the words of Jesus. And so to be able to come to somebody's house and bring hope, and not just only to them, but to their family and all those around us. So I believe that's what's special about the home visit.
Father Michael Skluzacek, spiritual advisor for the Twin Cities Council, says the Society of St. Vincent de Paul makes a difference in the communities it serves.
The charism of St. Vincent de Paul is to be there for that person, because when a poor person is seeking help with the utility bill, with food, with lodging, whatever it might be, that's the immediate need, that's the most obvious need. But beneath that need, there's very likely a need for love, essentially, for relationship. And that's what St. Vincent de Paul can do for that person, is to show them that there's someone who cares, someone who is not just going to throw something at them to help them through this immediate crisis, but someone who's able to look at them in the eye and recognize Christ in that poor person, establish a relationship.
You never know what anyone is going through, and yeah. Again, these are people that we're serving, and there are just so many unmet needs in people's lives that we're able to feel.
Couldn't ask for anything more. And the home visit was so nice too. It was that they truly came out and really cared, wanted to know if there was anything that they could do to help.
Vincentians strive to see the face of Christ in all those with whom they come in contact, and people like Kelly Larson make that easy. For Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Paul Brown.
I know, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. We ask you, please keep Kelly and her family in your thoughts and prayers. One of the Vincentians that you saw in that home visit is Wayne Bugg, whose journey to St. Vincent de Paul is an inspiring example of how the Society changes lives. Sharon Dennis has that for us.
And also a little coffee table because the big white one didn't fit. So,
Vincentian Wayne Bugg grew up in the Chicago area, surrounded by poverty, drugs, and crime. Anchors on his life he couldn't escape until moving to Minneapolis more than 25 years ago and landing an entry-level job with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
It's pretty awesome. Coming from humble beginnings and low expectation, this is awe-inspiring. So yes, I'm extremely grateful. The people in this organization has adopted me, has helped. It's been like an incubator for me. I see now, looking back, that that I had potential, but until you have somebody to foster that, to grow that, to nurture that, it just lies dormant. But this organization has took me in and says, okay, well, we're going to invest in you, and there wasn't no contract signed or anything like that. But the love of God propelled them to do that, and they just walk with me throughout this whole journey, with me, my wife, and kids.
Wayne worked hard, and with the support of St. Vincent de Paul, moved up the ranks within the society, earning a college degree along the way.
I know I'm fortunate, and so it sent me on a journey, Lord. What is my purpose? And so, and again, by God orchestrating stuff, that I landed in this organization. So I'm looking for purpose, and I land up here.
Father Michael Skuzacek, spiritual advisor for the Twin Cities Council, says Wayne's story is an inspiration and shows how the work of St. Vincent de Paul can change someone's life.
What impresses me about Wayne is just the way that his life was transformed by that simple encounter with St. Vincent de Paul, that he was a person who was down and out in life and was going in the wrong direction, and through his encounter with St. Vincent de Paul, he was able to see that he was loved, that he was cared for, that he was a person, and he was able to encounter Christ through St. Vincent de Paul.
Wayne finds he often relates to the people he meets during home visits or in the Twin Cities Council's thrift stores.
I always feel kind of obligated to share some of my story, that I will be the first to become vulnerable. This is what has happened to me, and this is why I'm here. And so I believe once you were the first to open yourself up, that then they feel like now it's a safe place, then I can do so also.
Wayne isn't shy about sharing how his life experiences and the kindness shown by the society have brought him closer to God.
I mean, ultimately, all of the education and all that stuff is good, but ultimately my relationship with God is great.
Wayne Bugg remembers what it feels like when seemingly no one cared, and treasures the love he's found with his St. Vincent de Paul family. For Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Sharon Dennis.
Thanks, Sharon. We've enjoyed our time here in Delaware. And once again, we hope you've been inspired by the people you've met and the Society's good works across the United States. For Our Faith in Action, today's Society of St. Vincent de Paul, I'm Michelle Wargo.